I'm Ted Keys, your host and top freight agent training expert here in Southern California. Welcome to this edition of your Freight Sales Success Training. After watching and applying it, you'll move more freight efficiently, effectively, and effortlessly, and make more money financially. And if you have any questions, call me, Ted Keys, at 626-309-9141. Today's topic comes from the front lines of my 30-plus years of business, sales, and freight moving success. Now enjoy watching, learning, and applying. Hello and welcome to my Tuesday conference call, everybody. Ted Keys, your host and top freight agent training expert here in Southern California. This is a free, high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top producing, new, and struggling freight agents at 2 p.m. Pacific time and 5 p.m. Eastern time. On the call today, I will show you how to move more freight efficiently, effectively, and effortlessly so you make more money financially. And after the call, go to my website, tedkeysonline.com, to hear more of my podcasts, read more of my blog posts, watch more of my videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to truly explode your freight business today. When you arrive at my Freight Sales Success Store, you will see a host of products that are available. First one you'll see there is my Freight Sales Success Guide for beginner and struggling freight agents. I do, however, provide this for when you join our top producing freight sales office. Another product you'll see there is my Freight Sales Success Quotes. These quotes provide you with daily motivation to do what's important, to get on the phone and connect and build relationships with the marketplace. Third product you'll see there is my Freight Sales Success Training. This is a video course. It'll take you literally from knowing little or nothing about freight to moving your first freight load and beyond. You'll also see there for sale again is my Freight Sales Success Skills. This product provides those intricate little skills that are required to handle different situations that you come in contact with. However, my Freight Sales Success Skills, along with my other products, are available today for purchase in my Freight Sales Success Store. And while you're there at my store taking in all this free information, on any page on my website you happen to be on, just over to the right, go over to the right and enter your contact details. By doing that, you'll receive your email invite to this and every call. Not only that, you'll receive the attachments that I provide on each and every call. And also, just as a freebie for opting in, you'll receive my free report. Again, it's just a free report. 11 ways freight agents will increase their income. Go through this as a beginning, struggling freight agent. This report will assist you in increasing your income. And just so you know, that report there has been downloaded thousands of times before. And if you have any questions whatsoever about what I went over today, or more importantly, more specifically, are you ready to join our top producing freight sales team? Then give me, Ted Keys, a call. I'm at 626-309-9141. Today's training topic is how you remember your freight prospects' names. How you remember your freight prospects' names. So for those of you that are on my list, just scroll down to any one of those email invites that I sent you today and open up that first attachment where we're going to go over one of the most important calls that I can give is how you remember your freight prospects' names. And truly, this is one of the most important calls I can give, because I'll say this, our name is one of the most valuable possessions that we hold dear to us. Now, let me focus on what I just said. It's one of our most valuable possessions. Now, my name may not be valuable to you, your name may not be valuable to me, but the point is, when you understand how valuable someone's name is to them personally, and you actually take the effort to remember their name, you're going to see your relationships just fly up the charts, because I cannot express how important it is in business and in life that we remember individuals' names that we come in contact with, regardless of the situation. So go ahead and, as I said, open up that first attachment and let's talk about how you remember your freight prospects' names. Now, there's nothing worse than seeing a freight prospect, somebody that you've come in contact with already, or hearing their voice and totally forgetting their name. I cannot express again how important it is, but there's these situations where we come in contact with them again. They call us for whatever reason. We remember their voice, but for some reason we've forgotten their name. There's also nothing worse than seeing a prospect or hearing a prospect, just like I talked about, hearing their voice, totally forgetting their name, and they know and call you by name. I mean, how embarrassing is that? Well, being terrible at remembering others' names is not an incurable condition, as you continually hear others say, and I cannot express how disdained I am when I hear this, when people say, I'm terrible with names. Well, typically, if somebody's telling you that they're terrible with names, there's a high priority that they have not gotten very far in their profession, all right? Especially in sales. If a salesperson tells you, I'm terrible at names, I guarantee you that they are not at the top of their company's leaderboard. So, here are several techniques to start utilizing to transform yourself into a master name caller, hence avoiding those awkward, well, hey, you, buddy, guy moments, and make all your freight prospects that you see and hear feel memorable. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Here's the first example on how to remember your freight prospect's name. And that is when you're introduced, to create a visual reminder of your prospect. When you're introduced, now again, our profession deals a lot with us meeting on the phone. However, you can create some type of reminder while you're on the phone, but I'm going to talk about a visual reminder where you can actually see them face to face. Now, this works by creating this visual reminder associated with your freight prospect's name. Here's how it works. Here's how you do it. The next time you meet someone new, pick out the most memorable part of their face. Let me say that again. The next time you meet somebody new, pick out the most memorable part of their face. Could be anything from an unusual eye color to a large dark spot. I mean, it could be anything like that. You take your option, take your pick. The feature, it must be noticeable and it's got to be permanent and can't be, dark lipstick or a short, scruffy beard. Now, why is that? Well, it's because all that stuff will change over time. A scruffy beard could turn into a long beard, or it could turn into no beard at all. Dark lipstick, that could turn into light lipstick or no lipstick at all over time. You'll then turn that person's name into an image, plain and simple. Say you meet a man. Okay, here's an example. Say you meet a man, the guy's name is Harry, all right? Picture Harry Truman, all right? Or you may picture, just by meeting Harry, you may picture Harry Truman, or hey, say this guy is Harry, picture a hairy man in your image, all right? Take the image and mentally attach it to the person's face using that prominent feature as an anchor. Again, whatever it is that you choose. Example, let's say Harry has a mole on his nose. All right, let's say he has a mole on his nose. Then you can imagine Harry Truman on the top of that mole. I mean, again, I'm just giving you an example of how this works. Your visual hook is now created. All right. Next time you run into Harry, all right, your new freight prospect, your old freight prospect, you'll see the mole, okay, because it'll be there right on his face. Think of Harry Truman, and Harry's name is right there on the tip of your tongue to reintroduce yourself to Harry and impressing him to no end. Okay, that's just one example of a visual reminder. Let me tell you how I do it, all right? For me personally, when I'm introduced to somebody, what I do is I keep repeating the prospect's name until it clicks into my brain. I just keep repeating it over and over again. But I don't just say, Tom, 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 Tom. I repeat it in my conversation with Tom. You know, people always ask me, why do I ask so many questions when I meet somebody? Here's the reason why, so I can continue to repeat your name so it clicks into my brain. Why do I do that? Because I understand how valuable your name is to you. For example, Rick, when you first called me, how many times did I repeat your name in our initial conversations? Maria, when you met me, how many times did I repeat your name and continue to ask you questions in our initial conversations? That's why I ask so many questions. Hey, some people are put off by my questions, but hey, I understand the value of your name. That's why I continue to ask so many questions with your name peppered in those questions. So not only am I remembering your name, I'm figuring out and I'm learning more about you. Don't be afraid to get a little weird with these images that you create, okay? It's much easier to remember Britney Spears dancing on top of someone's nose than a smiley face on someone's cheek. So, first example, first technique, create a visual reminder of your prospect. You choose it. It doesn't have to be his face, it could be his hands. Maybe the guy's got big hands, okay? You can relate his name to the size of his hands. I mean, this can work in infinite ways. Second technique to remember your prospects' names is to download this app. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many apps that you can utilize to assist you in remembering people's names, but I'm just going to give you one example to keep this nice, short, and simple. Computers have perfect memories. Well, I shouldn't say perfect, but they have close to perfect memories. When you forget a freight prospect's name, download the app Remember. It's an app that stores all your connections for you. Now, the downside of an app is you actually have to enter your name into the app. The upside of the app, if you are computer literate, is it will assist you in remembering your contact's name. So every time you meet a new freight prospect, enter their name, contact info, and note about them or notes about them, or a neat freight detail that they shared with you. It could be a lane that they shared with you. It could be a type of trailer that they use. Anything like that, enter it into their contact info. The app then, it's going to search Facebook to find a picture of your new prospect. So now you have a visual reference. Again, the app Remember, it keeps a log of the freight prospects you meet every time. It automatically keeps track of where and when you meet each one and sends you notifications when you get back to them. Now, again, there are many more apps out there on the market. Me personally, I prefer old school. It's what I'm used to. Plus, it keeps my brain sharp. It keeps my brain sharp by continually putting forth the effort to remember person's name. I remember my technique more than I'm going to remember an app. Either way, they both work. What I just shared with you, it works for me. That's all I can tell you. Let's go on to our third technique. Third technique is real simple. Just ask your prospect to say their name again. Now, this is after you've been introduced to them. You've been introduced, it could have been a while, you run into them again. What do? Just ask your prospect to say their name again. We all blank out on freight prospects' names, not only that, but on other folks' names, but that doesn't mean you don't ask for it. Again, or worse, struggle through your conversation without it. I mean, that's when you hear people calling dude or bro or hey or guy. I mean, if you hear that between a conversation, it's because the individuals have not paid the effort to remember people's names, all right? The best way to get a prospect's name who you've already been introduced to, again, just ask them to repeat their name. Just ask them. Let me give you an example. I just happened to be recently. This is a young man I met in our church. I specifically stressed to him how important it is that he remembers people's names. Why? He's a young man. I thought I'd share some advice to him. Plus, every time I meet him, I'd call him by name. Hey, Reuben. And then he'd sit there all dumb and starry-eyed because he didn't remember my name. Well, interesting thing happened recently. We've moved recently. I saw Ruben in our new church. I went up to him, lo and behold, I forgot Ruben's name. I haven't seen him in 6 months, but I forgot his name. What did I do? I went up to him. The first thing that came out of my mouth is, "Hi, man, I forgot your name." Again, I'm admitting my guilt, but the first thing, I just got it over with. Hey, what is your name? Again, you just ask for it. You know, just get it out and ask them their name. Again, remember, we are more than happy to tell anybody what our name is. Why? Because we value it so highly. When you don't remember a prospect's name, here's another example. Look for a way to introduce them to somebody else. The key, though, again, the key is to introduce the person you know to the freight prospects whose name you forgot, rather than the other way around. So when you follow the order, the forgotten prospects naturally will introduce themselves. Now, let me give you an example. Here's how it works. Okay, so here's me to a prospect whose name I've forgotten, and I just happen to have my wife Maria with me. All right, I run into my prospect. I've forgotten his name. What do? I say, "Hey, this is my wife Maria." All right, I don't say his name. Of course, I say, "Hi, how's it going? This is my wife Maria." The prospect, who has been introduced to my wife Maria, whose name I forgot, what's he going to do? He introduces himself to Maria, back to her. "I'm Muhammad." So, boy, great to see you. This is my wife Maria. What does he respond back with? Shakes her hand. "I'm Muhammad." There's his name. I've got his name back. Again, there's plenty of situations where the strategy doesn't work, however. Say you bumped into a prospect while shopping or running errands and there's no one around for you to introduce them to. Well, in these situations, just ask, "How do you spell your name?" See, now that would be easy when, again, I haven't remembered Muhammad's name, but that would make sense, all right, because Muhammad is spelled in so many different ways. Now, when you do this and you say, "How do you spell your name?" and he goes T-O-M, Tom, well, at least you got the name. You look like, you got a little egg on your face because it's such an easy name, but at least you got his name. And again, start calling him by name in your conversations. Let me stress how important this is and how important it was to Dale Carnegie, the writer of How to Win Friends. Okay, Dale Carnegie said, "Remember that a person's name is the sweetest and most important sound in any language." I can't stress how important it is that you take this and you apply it. I'll say it again. Dale Carnegie, remember that a person's name is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Again, he's the author of How to Win Friends and Influence People. Use these 3 techniques, guys, to remember your prospects and others' names, and everyone you meet will automatically like you a little more. Great topic for today. Again, those 3 techniques. Technique number 1, create a visual reminder of your prospect. Technique number 2, download that app. Remember. Technique number 3, just ask your prospect to say their name again. This is after you've been introduced once or twice or 3 times. Just blurt it out. "Hey, forgot your name." It shows how human you are as well. In concluding my call, do you have any questions about what I just went over today? Any questions, regardless of what it is, or more importantly, more specifically, are you ready to join our top producing freight sales team? Yes? Give me a call, Ted Keys. I'm at 626-309-9141.